Hello everyone, thanks for clicking on my video. My name is Scott Lubisher with Truck Paper, and today I'd like to take a few minutes to discuss the sleeper truck market. I'll be sampling a few key slides within our monthly Sand Hills market reports. However, you can access the full sleeper truck market report by visiting truckpaper.com and clicking on Get Market Reports at the top of the page. You can also visit auctionvalues.com and once again click Get Market Reports. While on auctionvalues.com, feel free to search the largest database of auction results from industry auctions across the truck, trailer, construction, and farm equipment. It's a great resource to familiarize yourself with the past and current auction values across the markets of your choice. Let's take a look a little bit deeper in terms of the sleeper truck market. So we're seeing some unique changes in the market here today. I'd like to focus on kind of the top half of this chart first. The asking value over the auction value EVI is something that's an important key to what's happening in today's market. Bear in mind these reports come out monthly. We're looking at here would be December's auction data and retail data. So the North Central region by far is one that I want to kind of take a look at just because it's one of the largest regions that we have out here. Looking at the auction values, you see the auction value about $29,000 and the asking value on those are about $47,000. The only location that beats that $47,000 would be the Western region, and you've got a lot of emissions factors and things to consider in there, but those prices on the retail side are about $48,000 and $30,000 on the auction respectively. Taking a hard look at the number of sleepers in the market, there's almost 4,300 sleepers in the North Central region. 1,540 of those had sold for like a percentage inventory sold around 36%. Take a look at your region, focus in on what's happening in those regions. But I really want to focus on what we're looking at in terms of the year-over-year price changes to the year-over-year auction prices changing as well. So if you look at the bottom of that chart, what you're going to see is that the asking prices are about anywhere from almost 9% to about 11% down in terms of asking. If I move down a few lines down to the auction prices year-over-year, we're seeing those on average about 17% down. Now there's a great relationship between asking and auction. As we see auction prices move down, which is a lead indicator, you should typically see asking prices follow that. When the prices get to kind of a low point where we're at today, it gets a little emotional for the sellers out there to move their prices down to meet some of those auction numbers. But certainly the market is speaking, saying the auction values are what is current today, and that's typically the line that will follow. Sometimes it takes dealerships out there 60 to 90 days to move those prices down because it is an emotional decision to potentially even lose money on an asset out there. Inventory-wise is kind of unique today. The inventory year over year change on average out there is about 30% down in terms of the market out there. When I start looking at those sort of numbers, typically you'd start to see when inventory is going down out there, we'd see there's a little more pressure on price to bring those prices up. We're not necessarily seeing that. As you can see, the asking values are down on average 10% year over year. The auction value is down about 17%. If we break that down monthly, the asking prices are down about 1.4%. The auction prices are down about 3.6%. So in my estimation, you're going to see just a little bit more movement down in our retail prices to accommodate where the market's actually at today. So looking at these charts a little bit more in depth and a little bit longer approach here, we go back to like 2015, so you can get to see how the market reacts. The green line on here represents the retail listings that are on the site out here. The asking price rate is represented by the blue line. Now, pay special attention to the COVID time frame out here about the start of 2020. I think it was about March of 2020, and we had peaked out in terms of inventory out there. We had nearly 40,000 sleepers on the market out there. And in a short period of less than 2 years, we went from 40,000 sleepers all the way down to just about 12,000 sleepers. That had a massive effect on the price out there. The prices went from nearly 40,000, almost doubled to 80,000, maybe even a little more than 80,000. So today you'd expect that the prices would react in a similar method. We see inventory kind of decreasing. We're down to about that 15,000 units in the marketplace out here. And you'd expect to see the prices sort of rising out here. We're still seeing the prices kind of drop. There's obviously some factors with freight. I think there's a lot of people kind of waiting on some of the pre-buy. There's some emissions that are going to come into effect in 2027. People are looking to upgrade fleets, anticipating, late 25 and into 26 to upgrade those, which will put a lot more, inventory in the marketplace out here as well. But as a whole, it's important to kind of understand where the market's at today. Today we're not at a massive number in terms of inventory out there. I'd say it's a pretty good number out here, but prices are still kind of reacting in a downward method out there. So in conclusion, the sleeper market inventory has receded again, this time by single digits, small, around 1%. Values continue to level, showing signs of a bottom. Even though they've been decreasing out there, we're seeing a little bit of support at the bottom now. At the end of the day in January, I start to look at what we're seeing in the marketplace out there. We're seeing some inventory starting to increase. So we're into January a bit here, and the trucks are already up from 15,000 to about 19,000. So we might see some of those trucks come back in. A lot of dealers talking about the pre-buy in 25 and 26. So be prepared for that with the emission changes coming in 27. And this should drive more used inventory in the marketplace with the trucking companies upgrading their fleets. Remember to visit truckpaper.com or auctionvalues.com and click on Get Market Reports to sign up for the full monthly market report. If you'd like to see anything specific covered in the next months of market videos, please reach out to me, Scott at truckpaper.com. Thank you very much.